In my entire life, I've never felt as much pain as I feel now.
If you're hearing our voices, that means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch the worst movies from trailer and credit scene by scene, so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
That tracks. All right. We're
suffering.
back. Yeah, so much suffering. We're going to continue the suffering, but we're taking on the suffering for you, the dear listeners, so you don't have to suffer. That's what we do here. We're sacrificing ourselves for you. So just remember that. Remember that when you go and think about buying a t-shirt.
You're welcome. And there's some cool ones. So
yep. So
check them out.
All right. So we're back. Part 2, full breakdown of Warcraft 2016, Duncan Jones, video game adaptation movie thing, fantasy thing.
Nobody famous, really. Couple people.
A couple people, but
orcs, war, humans doing whatever.
Spoilers. That's just going to continue.
And when we left off, Magic Mike here was doing maybe hinting at a little bit of darkness, right? Like Magic Boy's doing some research and he burns it all up and says, "Hey, don't be looking into that stuff. That's a Guardian problem."
Yeah, that's for my eyes only.
Exactly.
Yeah,
sketchy.
So, I wonder if there's going to be a little something going on here. All right, so we're in a weapons room here, right?
Yep.
And Mage shows up, Magic Boy. He shows up to talk to Bro, Lothar there. And he's like, yo, I got to tell you about something. And he's like, what? And he's like, yo, I got this page. It was weird. The Guardian came in. He burned up all my stuff, ordered my research.
Kind of strange.
Kind of strange. This isn't this strange. Listen to me. And he hands me a page. He's like, but I got this one. I stuffed it in my drawers. My underwear. He's like, where was this? He's like, don't worry about it. The point is,
it's like the orcs didn't just show up here; they were summoned
here from this side. If you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah, they got invited.
Yeah,
to Azeroth,
and the bro's like, wait, and they made Guardian burned your stuff, and he's like, yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah, and instead of moving the plot forward, Lothar's like, he's probably just trying to protect you.
Don't worry about it. But then the kid does run away, and then Lothar's like, pondering. Is there a plot twist happening in this film?
Yeah. I wonder who invited those orcs.
Who would have the power to do such a thing? So we're about the halfway point. Well, it's his buddy, right? They're friends, so he doesn't want to believe that his friend did this to him. But that's not really established all that well until the very end. We're like, hey, we're friends, old friends. Like,
yep. You were the chosen one.
You were the chosen one. All right, so this is about the halfway point, ish. And then we're at the Blackrock meeting site. Here we are, right?
Yep. With the orcs. They were like, this is a good spot for an ambush, huh?
Yeah. We are literally in a kill box here. We're surrounded by mountains, and I was like, you picked the spot.
Yeah. Yes. And then they show you, it's so stupid that the Guardian is up on a mountain, presumably where anyone who looked up would see him.
Yeah.
Hey,
anyone see that crazy guy on the... No. Ooh. So then Grona, so this is when we have the whole, so they all meet up, the humans and our dissenting orcs here, Orc Daddy and his Orc Bro, and there's tension in the air. And this is when the king shows up, and we got the bro there, we got the son there, everyone's there, right? And this is where you have the weird translation thing where Grona's translating, and then it goes from translation back and forth, Orc speak. And then Orc starts speaking in English, but Grona's still translating. We're not sure what she's doing. This is confusing. Very confusing.
I think they just did that so they didn't have to keep translating it. He was definitely not speaking English. He was still speaking Orc, but
it started out with them both speaking Orc, and then it switched over to him speaking English, but she was still translating, and it was just kind of but no one else is talking outside. Why are you talking? Anyways.
It's the worst.
So then we can feel something stirring in the background now. All the other orcs are kind of looking around like something's not right here. It's a trap. Just gonna get right to it. So the trap is sprung, and we got a bunch of green orcs popping up, and they're fighting the other orcs, and then they fight the humans. Everyone's like, it's a trap, and then we got to work on orc fighting. It's just a disaster.
In the back and forth, the only important bit was they were like, we have 2 days. That was the only thing of any consequence. And even that's really not that important, but they're just like, in 2 days, we're going to get all these humans and we're going to fuel the portal and bring the horde. Like, okay,
cool. We'll take that bit of information and go home with that. And then we see Bro Orc, though. He's up on top and he's just like, oh, Bro Orc is not on board with Daddy Orc. So kind of get that.
When you say Bro Orc, are you talking about Gul'dan?
No. No, the other one, his bro shows up. The bald one.
Doomhammer?
Yeah, he shows up and he's like kind of looking down upon them. Right. I was like, oh, he was part of this whole this. He's
part of the setup. Yeah,
the setup. Grona, there's a key thing here. Grona saves the king.
Yep,
that's pretty important because that comes back later. But then it also comes, whatever. She uses a little knife. Yeah.
Yep. And like the tides are turning, right? Like things are going. Maybe the orcs have the upper hand for a bit. But
good orcs, bad orcs.
Guardian finally does a magic thing.
Finally, takes him forever.
MacGuffin yeah. Just like, all right, why don't I just lightning everyone?
But he builds like a lightning wall that separates half the human crew in the orcs, and it's like, and the other half just happens to have Lothar's son on the side, or whatever his name is.
Yep.
Great, Callan. So he drops this like giant barrier, and basically,
and then Lothar like almost busts through the lightning wall with a shield. When you're like, wait, what? Don't even show this part. Like,
almost. It's just showing my son is on the other side, and he's watching all the humans die, and his son is the last one left. And Gork. He grabs the son, looks at his father, and he's like, check out this cool claw I got, bro. And stabs the son, drops him to the ground,
but we don't see it.
Looks at Lothar, and he's like, yo, bro, I see you. Come at me.
They do like a weird mix of on-screen violence and off-screen violence, and you're like, just show us. Like,
you show us the human's head snap, and like towards the end, like, pick your battle.
Show us stabbing the kid,
and then he like on top of the. Just to throw some salt in the wound, he throws the kid into the lightning wall, which is that's ruthless. It's pretty badass. Which pisses off Dad. And he's like, "I'm gonna come get you." So that all happens, and then we got the mage and the king, and everyone else goes up, and they find Medivh passed out. He's like, "Ugh, too much magic."
Just one thing that I wanted to call out, because again, the Lothar's son, not important until just now, but this scene that Russ and I burned through takes so long, and they do like a ton of sad music, and like nothing else matters anymore except for the boy that got killed, and you're like, what? Why?
It's just
but you're right. Then they go get the Guardian, and they're like, oh my god, he's all sleepy now that he did lightning stuff.
Oh,
we got to recharge him.
Useless.
Plug him back in.
He's gonna eat some apples or pears or something. And they're like, you gotta go. They're like, no, take my private jet. And that's a griffin comes in.
Yeah.
So then we're at the palace, I think. We're at the knowledge palace here, Medivh's home there. And Garona's there and Magic Boy, and they drop Medivh into his little bath there, get him juiced up again.
And Magic Boy's like, well, gotta go.
He takes off, but Medivh's eyes go green when he gets in the bath.
Right. Yep.
It's important. Yeah, Magic Boy's like, I gotta go watch him. And and then meanwhile, the butler's like, hey, I'll go make some snacks for him. So it's better.
Magic snacks for my magic boss.
Yep. And then we're in the orc hut, and we got Gore Orc. He confronts Daddy Orc. He's like, hey, man, what are you doing talking to those humans? And he's like, you're making me kill innocent people. Or he's like, I was like, oh, that's rough. And then Daddy Orc, long and short, Daddy Orc's like, I'll submit. Let's just do this, whatever. Just,
something about the children being the future.
And he leaves his family.
Innocent lives, yada yada.
Classic daddy leaving the family.
He does name the son in this one, and they're like, why don't we call him Goel?
Oh, and all the nerds in the theater were like,
it's wrong.
Oh my god. The popcorn thrown in the air.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So then we are back at the Palace of Knowledge here, and we got exposition scene with Garona and Medivh now telling their backstories. And
so like, how did it go? How'd the battle go? Not great, Bob.
And there's this weird. Was it strange? This way he told this story, was it kind of hinting at like maybe like he was her father or something? It was very strange the way this is told.
Yeah, it was weird. You're right.
And I was like, are they hinting?
It wasn't, but
it wasn't. But it was like the way they told us. Like, are they trying to hint at like he's her daddy?
Well, because then they kind of hinted them banging. He's like, maybe that guy's a good mate for an orc, huh? And you're like, wait, what?
This is all weird. But anyways, he goes on about love, and you got to travel the end of the world to find it. And he does some magic stuff, and he makes her a little flower, and he's like, here you go.
Yep.
And it teleports her out of there. So, see ya. So this is where this movie, like this second half here, like end of second act and going into the third act, we bounce back and forth between the orcs and the humans much more. It's speeding up. This is ramping up to our big climax of nothingness. So now we're back at the orc village, building a new gate. Granddaddy orc is like
stuff.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Just moving rocks around. Yeah.
When you're an orc, you just move rocks.
Put those over there.
And we got Granddaddy orc. He's talking to Daddy orc, and he's like, and Bro orc. He's like, he talks to Daddy orc Bro about joining the dark side, the bald one, orc Bro, right? Mm-hmm. So confused about who's who.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, once a horde comes through, I'll need like a side bro to kind of run the tribes here.
Yeah. I'll grant you the fell in front of everyone, and it'll be cool.
Yeah. And then in between this, he's got some human off to his side, like a little pet. He keeps like sucking life out of him. Poor guy.
It's pretty funny.
Like, it's new dawn. Let's go do this. So Bro Orc is on the bad side.
He's like, what? He's like, no, wait, don't give me the fell right now. Do it in front of everyone, and then everyone will think I'm cool.
Let's make it epic.
And then we cut to Garona again.
Yes.
Right? Apologizing to Lothar about the boy.
Yeah, the bros. He's in the bar. He's on the bar, right? And he's just being sad.
Yeah.
This is a really weird also scene because like he's drinking. He's like, my wife died, childbirth. My son's now dead. What do I have left? And she comes in and she's like,
him for that. Killed his mother.
Jesus. And she comes in. She's like, offers him like solace and like kind of gives him like a little hug, but gets in there like, are they gonna make it right now? Are they gonna?
Yeah.
Are they gonna do
she
this?
Like kind of kisses him.
Yeah, I was
like on the cheek or something.
The dude's son just died. What a weird. This isn't the time for this. Stop this.
Yeah. And then he's like, in my entire life, I've never felt as much pain as I feel now.
Yeah.
And then they like kind of kiss again, like a little bit.
Like it's like a little little sniffy. Like, what's going on over here? I was like,
it's gross.
What a weird way to like show them like connect. You know, it was like,
yes.
He's drunk. That's also adds a layer of weirdness.
Yep. He's drunk. His son just died.
Either everyone's drunk or everyone's sober. Let's not. All his extra teeth. That's gross. All right. So then we're in the Orc village. I'm so confused. So now Granddaddy Orc said, I don't know. I was so confused at this point. So
so this is, I'm like,
is this where
we show up? We go to the Orc mommy and she's talking about bathing in blood of the like this is when they start having like a little like Doomhammer shows up and he's explaining why he did what he did. He's like, no, like I didn't mean to make your husband look bad, but he kind of looks bad now because he betrayed us all, right? And she's like, no.
But I was so confused. So, but he's marching to go to her tent or whatever, but he's killing all these other orcs. I'm so confused. Like the green orcs, the fellow orcs. I remember he's like attacking them. And there's like this weird upheaval between the orcs, and he's like marching through and like killing them, and he gets to her tent, and it goes this whole story about this yada. He's like, hey, I'm gonna give you a head start, run, go.
Right. And he's like realizing the error of his ways and supporting Gul'dan because he's like,
right.
He's like, wait a second, I shouldn't have done that. My bad. She's like, well, kind of too late now.
Yeah, bro. But I'm just so confused. I was like, I'm pretty sure Granddaddy just explained this scene before, but I'm like, why is he killing all of the other green orcs that are on Granddaddy's side? That's where I was lost.
Because he's trying to betray Gul'dan. Like, because that's when he was like, no, don't do that. Don't give me the poison shit right now. Wait a little bit later. And he's like, oh yeah, good.
Yeah,
and he's like, okay. I was like, I got to go undermine this guy quickly. And that's when he starts going to knock off all the other stupid orcs. And he's like, you got to get out of here. I got to fix this. I screwed up. I really screwed up.
It was all
it's
confusing.
Not clear. It is not clear, but I'm pretty sure it's like that's the start of the betrayal.
Okay, so then we get a Griffin transition ride into the clouds, and we're back now we're in like another palace of some sort, of like another council.
This is back to the Magic Palace, I thought.
Well, no, because like this is where Magic Boy shows up. And he's running up all the stairs, and we get like the general highest council, right? And this is where we get more exposition about the Fel and like this whole thing. So
they're asking for help for the Guardian who has been poisoned by the Fel.
Right.
Poisoned by the Fel.
Again, a little title of where we are would have been great. Like, give us a little side screen thing. Guardians of the Galaxy did it. It's okay. You can do that. Just give us a little. You did in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. That's the only place I think we are.
The least important place that we have ever done.
It was like the first place they put the name and they forgot. Did they just forget?
I think so.
They're all like, ooh, he's fallen to the Fel? That's not good. Yeah, and then Magic Boy's like, what about Abracadabra or Aloe Dye or whatever? And they're like, then we're in like another chamber with like this purple box, and like one of the council members is like, yo man, this is this thing, we don't know much about it basically. And then all of a sudden like a black staircase opens up, and I love how like
it's never done that before.
Like,
oh god, it is so stupid.
Are you supposed to note, like, are you supposed to be that's weird. Should I go in? I don't know.
Here's this entity from before time existed, and you're like,
never done that before.
Yep.
He's like, should I go in? Go on in, kid. I don't know.
I don't care.
Better you than me.
You're right. Okay, I totally forgot about this scene. This is the smoke monster woman. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So he walks in, and we're in this mysterious void, right? And
yeah, and he's like, and he walks up to this woman, and he's like, "Wait a second, I know you from the library." You're like, wait, what? Why? And she's like, "Well, I used the last of my energy to summon you here." And you're like, "Wait a second, so you're not even going to be in this movie anymore? I thought you were important."
So it's so funny because like she's hiding her face the entire time, and I know this is gonna be a big deal for you because you're not good with faces, but like
that's
right.
So
this is Alodai, this creature, this thing, right? Like you just said, explain whatever, blah blah. And he's like, I don't have the power to defeat the Guardian. And she's like, Guardian's just a name, yada yada, right? And then like she turns around and faces him, and it's like, oh, that's Glenn Close. It was like, like this big kind of like actor reveal thing. It was like, oh my God, it's Glenn Close. Like no one in the movie theater who's a World of Warcraft fan is going to know who the hell Glenn Close is. Like, why make this like a reveal?
She's in the movie for 1 second.
Oh my God. She's got these empty green eyes, whatever. And she's like, and then she goes on about the light and the darkness. That came on earlier, right? Because he read the line, the passage, like the light and the darkness and the darkness and the light, and the green basically does a Green Lantern speech, and and then she repeats
like,
it. He's like,
he's like, I don't have the power to defeat a Guardian, and she's like, you idiot, Guardian's just a title. It's about being magical.
It's about finding yourself and being yourself. Okay.
And then it's so stupid. She's like, and always remember, from light comes darkness, and from darkness light. And you're like, what? That doesn't even make any sense. It's going to be the thing that saves the whole movie in 20 minutes, but what? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
All right, so that's done, and we cut to back to
Guardian
the
Chamber, right?
Yeah, the Guardian Chamber. It's called the Palace of Knowledge. House of Knowledge. So then we get the butler there. He finds Medivh. He's like collapsed after an all-nighter. He's like, whoa, buddy, you okay? He's like, I just had a few shots of too many orc beers last night.
He's like, thanks for everything, Alfred. You've done so much for me. However,
buddy,
Yep. Green magics him and murders that guy.
Because he brings him to his bath. Medivh's eyes go full green. He's all green now. And zaps him. And
he's got so many stupid lines in this movie. But one is when as he's killing the guy, he's like, it seems I have let the orcs into this world.
I brought them in. He's like, I don't even remember what else I did. How drunk were you last night, buddy?
The fella's twisted me. I can't control it.
Yeah.
Then he's like, no one can. Wait, what? What's the point of this movie?
Oh my God. And then he sucks the life out of the butler, and that's that. So then we're back at the war room. And the king map's here.
A bunch of lines about like supply lines and like strategy, battle strategy. And you're like, this doesn't matter. Don't include this.
Yeah, and then the Lothar, he shows up. He's definitely still a little hungover, a little drunk probably. He's like, this containment plan is shitty. More will show up. We're going to be all screwed. And then Medivh shows up, and he's like all healthy looking good. He's like, I'm restored. I'm good. Don't worry about it, bros.
Yeah.
And then bro Lothar, he loses his shit. And he's just like, goes after the Guardian. He's like, this is our plan. And he's like, yeah, well, dude, your son's dead. And yikes. Yep. Don't say that. Don't say that. But it gets Lothar thrown in prison, human prison. So basically.
Yeah, they do throw around some numbers here that are like kind of important in a stupid way, where they're like, how many legions will it take to hold the orcs? And they're like, well, we've already lost 18 legions and we only have 3 legions left. And you're like, wait a second. what?
Yeah.
That seems ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a lot. Like, we're missing all those battles.
Yeah. You've lost 90% of the men already.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That's also just a little legions, because that's what they call them all, the servers.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's for the nerds. It's for the geeks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we get so they're like, hey, throw Lothar in a drunk tank. He's just
let him cool off.
Let him cool off. His son just died.
Yeah. He's just acting up right now.
He's acting. He'll be fine. And then everyone leaves, and Medivh's like, hey, King, don't worry about it. We'll protect the kingdom together. Dun dun dun. Mm-hmm. So now they're
to the cell.
Yeah, they're down in the cell. Grona shows up, and they chat with the bro, and he's like, don't trust Medivh. Don't go with him. And
she's like, I told you, orcs like these hips don't lie.
And then because out of nowhere, they've developed this relationship because she sniffed him a couple times. They had some bickering. He's like, I don't want to lose you. It's like,
yeah.
I was like, this doesn't seem earned yet. This has not been earned. This feels very forced.
He's talking a bunch about how he doesn't want her to get hurt, and you're like, she's way more powerful than you.
Yeah, dude, you're the one in prison, you moron. You're the one who got his son killed.
Yeah. And then she's like, here, have my mom's tooth. Like, wait, what?
It's disgusting.
And then he's basically just like, all right, come back alive. And she's like, we'll see.
No promises. So we're back at the Orc village or camp, whatever. And then
did you hear all the throwaway lines from the prisoners in this scene too?
No,
it was so funny, dude. So we come back and we kind of scan over these prison camps of humans in the orc camp, and they're like, free us, we're thirsty.
I did.
It was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing. We're thirsty.
I haven't had a drink in 30 days.
You have bigger problems to worry about.
Yeah, bro. Your soul's about to get sucked out the power of portal.
Water.
Please, water. Oh my god. So then we're back at the Orc village, Orc camp here. Bro Orc kills some more fell guys, and then
Doomhammer? Yeah,
Doomhammer, and he frees Dorkatan, and then he's like, "Oh man, I think I made a mistake because the fell isn't good." Yeah. So he changes yet again. I'm so confused.
No, this is when he's just confirming that he's on the same page now. He's like, you were right. The fell is destroying us. Yeah. We gotta take down Gul'dan. That guy stinks.
Hey bud, sorry about that. Nux, we good?
Yeah. Yeah. My bad. And then Dorkatan's just sucker punches him.
I think he deserved that.
Yeah, totally.
Totally deserved that. So we're back at the kingdom of Azeroth, or wherever the hell we are. We got the king riding off the battle, and he steps up.
Just riding around.
Yeah, well, they're leaving the kingdom, this big pomp and circumstance thing. Everyone's trooping through the town, whatever. And he stops to chat with the queen. He's got kids, which what? Okay.
He's like, what's up? Why are you stopping?
Yeah.
He's like, and then he looks at the boy, and he's like, boy, my son, there's no other man I trust to keep the family safe except you. No pressure.
No pressure. I love how the son's like, this is when you die, isn't it? You're not coming back, are you?
Yeah. And the queen's just smiling the whole time. You're like, what? Yeah. What is this scene? Don't include this.
I love how Medivh is just like, we'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine. Let's go. Come on. A little horse ride. It'll be fine.
Let's roll. Come on, King. And King's like, shouldn't we bring Lothar with us?
No.
That guy was pretty cool earlier.
No, that guy stinks. You smell him recently? Ugh, he's a drunk. He's stupid.
Yep. And then we get a flying griffin transition.
Gotta have the griffin shots, right? Then we're back in prison, and we got human prison, and we got Lothar. He's trying to convince the guard. He's like, hey, guard, come on, bro. Let me out of here. He's like, let me out of here. And then he's
just screaming at the gate guy for some reason. You're like, what?
Screaming's not going to get you anywhere. And then he just turns into a sheep. He does there's a little joke because he does a thing. He just turns into a sheep. He's like, oh, did I do that? And no, Magic Boy's there. He does a little polymorph on him. Yep. And then Magic Boy's like, hey.
Only lasts a minute.
Yeah, it does in the game too. It only lasts a minute.
Yep.
It's actually.
Yep. So Magic Boy's like, don't worry, only lasts a minute.
Nod, nod, wink, wink. Did you catch that one, fanboys?
We've got to save Azeroth, and we've got to stop the Guardian. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, plan intact. They teleport.
Yeah, like we got a demon to kill. And you're like, wait a second, we spent so little time talking about the demon. That seems important.
Nah, don't worry about it. So we're in the woods. And then we get the stuff from the trailer. We got Orc Mommy puts the baby in the river. So we're coming towards the end, and like just cuts this.
Has never worked out in history. Like
no, putting a baby in a basket and just running it down the river, like
babies can't swim.
Like babies are stupid. It's gonna die. Like it's no motor skills yet.
She's like, you're from an unbroken line of chieftains. You're super important for something else someday, like the main character in half the games. All right, see you later.
And then some green orc busts out of the woods and they fight, and she jumps on him, gnaws his neck off, and then sword to the stomach though. See ya. And then she falls on her back and dies watching her little son float down the river.
Yep. And then I got a commercial for World of Warcraft. Finally. Thank God.
Took him an hour and 45 minutes to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, so we're powering towards the end here because this is where things ramp up. We're going to be bouncing around a lot from different locations. We got the palace, we got the orc camp, we got the human camps. So let's go. So we're back at the orc camp again.
Yep.
Durtan and aka Daddy Orc here. He's like, I'm the chieftain here, and he's
announces himself. I'm here to kill Gul'dan.
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
Way to be subtle about it.
And then
like,
he's going to fight Gore Orc there, and then
right.
But Granddaddy's like, so they fight right for a little bit. No. I think Granddaddy's like,
it's not yet.
No. Yeah. Granddaddy's like, he's like, screw this. I'll take care of this. I'm gonna rip his heart out. And Granddaddy, like, holy smoke, this guy is swole. He's ripped for being a granddaddy.
That's right.
And they fight fisticuffs, and he's pretty nasty. Then we bounce back to the Wizard Palace, and
Lothar and Magic Boy show up.
They show up. They find Sir Butzelot, Mr. Butler, Mr. Belvedere. He's dead.
Yep. And the Guardian's like, I should just start killing you guys. I don't want you to stop my plans.
Well, then we get the full on demon is taking over Medivh there, and he's like, oh, we got demon face. Then we cut back to the orc camp. We got the still fighting Granddaddy Orc, taking some rights, dropping some lefts. Here we go. But then Granddaddy starts fighting a little dirty. He starts pulling a little life out of him. Yeah, kind of dirty. So
yeah, it's cheating.
We'll come back to that. We go back to the Wizard Palace. We get some demon doing some incantations here. He's doing some chants to get the gateway working.
Yeah, trying to get the orc homeworld up and running again. And they're basically just like, we need to make him quiet and stop saying the things that he's saying. It's like they literally have lines like this. And you're like,
yes.
What?
Yep.
And then we cut back to Gul'dan and Duratan, and Gul'dan's like, I don't have time for this shit. I've got to open that portal.
I got to open a portal, bros. I got a demon on the other side. I got a portal to deal with. You guys understand the stress I'm under right now, and I got to deal with this fight with this guy from a chieftain from a tribe no one cares about,
right? And the other guys are like, you got to keep fighting. Like this is as is tradition.
Yeah, this is tradition. And then he starts like but he's like all in on a cheese. Like, you know what, screw this. And he starts pulling life out of him. And all the other works are like, whoa. There's no water in this. That's not cool. But they basically just stand there and watch as he sucks the life out of Durtan, and Durtan's dead.
Yep.
I was like, oh, okay.
Whoops. And then Doomhammer's like, hey, not cool, man.
Not cool.
And he's like, everyone, are you going to follow this demon? Because I won't. I follow only a true orc. And everyone's like, yeah, wait a second.
Yeah.
All right.
And they all start to kind of leave. And then Granddaddy Orc's like, nah, I'm not having this. And he's like, poof, kills a bunch of them. He's like, and they're like, all right. Well,
that guy's pretty powerful.
I mean, if you say it that way, when you put it that way. He's like, anyone else want to be turned into goopy nothingness here?
Nobody has any loyalty to anyone. They're all just like, well, that guy seems stronger right at the moment, so let's just do that.
And then he's like, hey, Gorork, and he shoots him full of the fell, I think, right? And he's like, power up, bro. Let's go. Yeah. And then he's like, now go get my new kingdom. And all the orcs are in, I guess. And they all start running towards the portal. They're like, why are we running? I don't know, because that was terrifying.
Yep.
Just to listen to the green guy because he does terrifying things.
Mm-hmm. So we come back to the king, right?
Yeah, well, humans start showing up and the battle begins. And we're back at the Wizard Palace, right?
Yeah, is that when the king finds the symbol? I wrote the king finds a symbol. I'm trying to remember.
Oh God, I can't. No, I have that the humans show up and they just start fighting, and then we cut back to the wizard palace, and then
I guess that was when they do the charge thing.
yeah, I think so.
Just like, all right, everyone charge at each other, battlefield style.
Right.
So stupid.
So then we're back at the wizard palace, and we get the demon. He's still doing Yamana, Kratu, Nektu, Faratu. I'm gonna have a ham sandwich later. And then the magic boy, he like tries a trick, and bro's like, I'll take care of the big clay monster you do with Medivh there. And we got a boss battle, basically.
Yep. The golem finally comes to life. And the boys kind of fight it.
Kind of.
Like, but doing a bad job.
But then we cut back to York camp, and we got this big battle. We got boomsticks going off.
Boomsticks everywhere.
Back at the wizard palace really quickly. I forgot what happened here. Just probably more
Nothing.
Just
golem
them
fight.
Yeah, smashing things. And we cut back to the York camp, and we got more battles. King saves Corona this time, so it's like a little, remember, you save me, I save you, we got each other.
Yep. And meanwhile, Gul'dan is like on the mountain where the where the guardian was earlier. Yeah, and he's like
sucking more souls.
I think I can just open this gate. Like while they do that stuff down there.
Powers up the gateway. Let's bring in the horde. Let's go.
Yep.
We're back at the wizard palace here. And
Magic Boy and the Guardian are having a magic fight now. They're doing some magic blasts at each other, right?
Yep.
And then the golem gets like hit halfway out the window, and Lothar cuts off his head for some reason.
he garrotes him with the clay thing. It's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, very badass move. And then bro falls out the window. Yeah, takes his head off. And then the Magic Boy, he's doing some floor chalk art in the corner somewhere, right? And then he's like, hey, go have a chat with the demon Medivh there. So bro's like supposed to distract him while Magic Boy's doing some chalk art. And he's chanting away. And then bro's like trying to...
You don't have to do this. You're the Guardian, remember?
You're
supposed
my friend.
To be guarding stuff.
You're my friend. Remember friend? Remember friend? Remember the word friend?
Friend?
Friends? Friends? Yeah, that's right, buddy.
Instead, he gets strangled.
Yeah.
Not looking good for the boys.
It's like, oh, maybe it's getting to me because they have like a close of his eyes and like, friend. And then Demon's badass and grows into this giant awesomeness thing. Grabs Lothar and he's like, yeah, bro.
Yeah. Grabs Lothar and then tosses him. And Lothar's like, I've got nothing left to live for anyway. Like, wait, what?
What about this life you want to lead with Garona here?
Yeah, and exactly.
And then all of a sudden, the giant clay monster falls on top of the demon.
Yep. And explodes. You're like, wait, what? Awesome.
So that happens. So you're like, okay, this is
quick cut to the battlefield where nothing happens, and then they cut back, and Magic Boy is dying now.
More battling and stuff dying. And I'm sure there's some Easter eggs in there. Some kids saw when you freeze frame the things like, oh my God, there's probably whatever. So we cut back to and the Magic Boy falls into the green water, and he's starting to get consumed by the fel, but he's stronger than it.
That's right.
So we got our new Guardian here. The last of last Guardians, and he throws a protective shield. He throws a protective shield around Lothar there.
Yep.
And then does the light darkness chant that Glenn Close told him about. Ali, okay. And then Kablooey. It just blasts out of the chamber. We get a wide shot of the land where the palace, and there's just boom, big green explosion.
Lothar's like, I'm proud of you. You're my new son.
Yeah, it's like. What? Nice job. I'm proud of you. Everything is fine. Then he's like, all right, bro, I got to go. And he just runs out the window barefoot, the shot from the trailer, and catches his Griffin buddy for a ride.
Yep.
Medivh is crushed, but gives one more chant, and opens up the chant or whatever, and opens up the portal to the kingdom for the humans to go through to return home, I guess.
To get to the I think it was to get to the battle.
Oh, that's right, because they had right. Okay.
Yeah. They got to transport to the battle quickly because of convenience.
Right. Right.
And they're like, thank you, Guardian. And then we cut to the king, and he's like, all right, Garona, you ride with me. We got to get some more boomsticks to the boys where this is going to go well now, I think.
You bros free the prisoners. Let's hold the line. I'm doing some king stuff. Epic battle rages on. Epic. There's stuff happening everywhere.
Yeah. And like, we got to save as many of our people as we can. And the Guardian, the Guardian's still alive somehow. Like he's dying for like 20 minutes, and he's like, loneliness makes us weak. Like, the the real magic was the friends we made along the way. And then the king's like, well, we lost the guardian.
He's like, safety tip number 10, 11, don't eat pocket scallops.
Oh, you know what I forgot to do also?
Yep.
Fun facts.
Sure.
So I'm going to give you one right now before we get to the end of this movie.
Can I eat a cracker while you're doing this one?
Yeah, go for it. So speaking of things in the game, Easter eggs that we didn't pick up on.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that there's like a big thing about elevators apparently in World of Warcraft?
Elevators?
Yeah. So apparently World of Warcraft players for years have joked about the elevators in the game as one of the deadliest bosses because it's really easy to like accidentally miss the timing and fall off the elevator and die. And apparently it became so popular that Blizzard actually started making references to the elevator boss, like in the patches in like the codes, in the code for all the things, where they're like, okay, now we do the elevator boss bit, which I thought was very fun.
I love that. Yeah. That's good. That's good video game stuff right there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It was a great cracker fact right there. By the time you told that fact, I finished eating my cracker.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll work on that time. Got that. We'll keep it.
Would you call me?
You heard me. All right. So then the Guardian finally dies. He's like, and then the gateway closes. So now we're like, SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
So then we're back at the orc camp here.
Yeah.
Portal closes. The upper hand
now. Orc's going pretty good.
Yeah, humans are screwed. Orcs get a new life. We're like, hey, we got this. We got Gork. Mm-hmm. He's coming for the king.
Yep.
King is like, then this is where the king turns to Garona. He's like, hey, I got a backup plan here. Since we're all kind of screwed right now,
stupid.
Here's the plan. You're going to kill me. She's like, what?
She's like, I don't think that makes any sense.
Trust me, this will cause no problems to the other human. The humans will understand. Trust me, they'll understand. My queen who gave you the knife, everyone will get it. It's okay.
He literally says it'll make you a hero to the orcs and it'll help you bring peace between the orcs and the humans. And you're like, I don't think so.
You're the dumbest king that has ever lived. Like, you don't know how to king correctly. Like, you're so stupid.
So funny. So then we get like slow motion Blackhand, who's the Gwark.
Gwark. Yeah, he's coming out. Like, I'm coming for the king.
Just like pushing orcs out of his way left and right, just like smashing his allies, like on his way to the king, and it's all turns into slow motion, and he like just about to get to the king.
But then meanwhile, like they're cutting to Garona, she's like, I can't do that. I shouldn't do this. Like, I like you humans. You're okay. You're pretty cool. And like the king's like, come on, do it. I'm gonna face him. Just do it. It's fine.
And then she just like sneaks up on him in slow motion and stabs him in the neck.
Yeah, right in the back, basically.
What?
Yeah.
And he's like, ow.
Oh, why did you stabbed me in the damn shoulder, you idiot.
Not there.
So then, the king's dead, and she's standing over his body, and everyone's like, and all the orcs are like, she did it. Check me. Mm-hmm. And they pick her up, and they body surf her back to the front there, and everyone's like, she's awesome.
Garona.
And then Granddaddy Orc's like, hey, they embrace you, Orc. And she's like, she has this look of like, I don't feel too good about this. And then they toss the king's.
How they just like throw the king around.
Yeah, they just toss the king's body. But wait, what's that in the sky? Is that a griffin? It's a bird.
Lothar?
It's a bird. It's a plane. Is that a Lothar and a griffin? Is that a barefooted human? Put some shoes on. It's gross. So he flies in. He's taking out some orcs. The griffin's doing its job, taking out some orcs. It's awesome. Let's go, right? And always ride with a griffin.
Goes over to the king's body and he like finds the blade that you're like, wait a second, you can't possibly remember what this knife looks like. Yeah. And he's like, my God, this is Garona's.
I know this one. I had it built in the Iron Forge from my sister. Yeah, he knows what happens. He's like, I knew it. I shouldn't have trusted her. So he grabs the king's body, hops on the griffin. They're about to get away, but then the only problem with griffins, the tails are too long. And an orc grabs and slams them both into the ground.
Yep.
Bro is passed out. He wakes up. We're in the camp.
Yep.
And Bro wakes up to Gwark tossing him a sword for a fight. We're in like a little circle pit here, a little mosh pit thing.
Yeah.
And
like, as is orc tradition, battle to the death.
He didn't challenge you. Just kill him. What do you like? Yeah. What's going on here? I was like, why is this actually happening right now? Like,
well, and then I really, really hate this part because you're like, oh, sweet. There's going to be a big battle again. Even the one that Gul'dan did with Durotan, like that was like they drew it out long enough that it like had like some weight to it. Like it had a little meaning.
Right.
And instead Lothar like walks up to the orc and just stabs him immediately. Like he's just immediately dead.
Yeah,
it's like, for my son.
Well, yeah. Well, but there's more to this fight though. So like, they kind of build it up. They shows like bare feet and like the low angle shot and the swords. They kind of like set up like the old samurai, fights. But then, and then they just run at each other, and he slides and basically slices Gwark's nuts.
Yep, in 1 second.
And then just
battle's over.
And then stabs him in the back. Done.
Yep. So frustrating.
Yeah.
Like they built this guy up to be like he was like the big bad for the whole time, like the enforcer for Gul'dan. Like, yeah.
Yes. I mean, yes, he was, but I just felt like he was just another, I don't know. He didn't feel that way though, but I know he was supposed to be, but didn't feel that way. Yeah. So it's like whatever. It doesn't matter.
Well, now it's over.
Yeah. Another dead orc,
And then everyone looks at Garona and they're like, all right, well now you got to kill that guy.
Yeah.
You see what he just did?
Everyone's like, no, but tradition holds. And she's like, hey, because he was going to go do it. And she's like, don't do that, because then you need to keep the trust of everyone around here.
The human won fair and square.
Fair and square. Yeah, because Granddaddy's like, I'll do it myself again. Ugh, so settle down, you old boomer.
Yep. And then like all the orcs like salute Lothar for some reason. Like you're like, why? Because they all like do like
because it's a tradition. Because it's tradition.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, you salute the killer, and he grabs his king, gets on his griffin, and rides out into the sunset,
and like makes like a mean face at Garona, like you killed the king. Oh man,
you half breed bitch.
Yeah, and she's like, oh man, she's like, wait a second, the king said this would bring peace, and now everyone's sad.
And then we cut to Bro-Orc here. Doom Hammer, yeah. And he pulls the tooth out for his... Yeah. He pulls the tooth out of his...
Durotan.
Yeah, Durotan's head there, who's still dead as nail. I thought he was going to last for the entire movie. I didn't really...
Yeah. And he died like a half an hour ago. And like, wait, his body's still just here?
Yeah, it's just fine. He just pulls the tooth out and says, this is for your son, who is still on a river ride and probably dead.
Which, fun fact about Goel / Thrall, apparently, so like Thrall is one of the most iconic orc characters in World of Warcraft. Mm-hmm. They just like this whole backstory they invented way later. So like Thrall was like in a bunch of games and forever people grew and love him, and then eventually they were like, actually his name used to be Goel. Like kind of like randomly in some game, and so I guess it turned into a big meme with a lot of the people in the game were like, wait, why do you have like a weirdly boring name all of a sudden? Like, okay, like Goel to bed, like time for me to Goel my eyes out because I'm and it turned into a big meme, like everything else in World of Warcraft.
Like everything else in the world and the internet, just a meme.
Yep, exactly.
All right, so then we're back at the kingdom here, right?
Yeah, it's just like later.
Yeah, later on. Lothar drops off Garona's dagger to the magic boy, and he's like, this is what killed the king.
Yep.
And Magic Boy's like, no. There
has to be some sort of explanation.
Has to be, right? And he's like, I don't think we knew her as well as she thought we knew her.
Yep.
And the mage is like, I don't buy it. You have to buy it for the sequel.
Yep. Like, alrighty, on to the next scene.
And we're at the king's funeral, and The king's it is all in the shot in the trailer, and the king's on a thing in bed of he's going to get burned, and the queen gives this big speech about the king's death, and
we must deserve his sacrifice and avenge him.
Then
Wait, what?
Magic Boy goes over and grabs his sword and gives it to Lothar, and Lothar goes up there with the queen, who's his sister, and is like kind of like taking over the kingdom in a way. And he's like, let's humans, and raises a sword in the air.
Barazaroth for the Alliance.
Yeah, and you're like, wait, are we gonna go all Game of Thrones on this now? Like, because she's still the queen. I don't know how that works. I don't know how fantasy kingdoms work, but.
And I was like, so the other thing that I hate about the king,
like his son would become the king
himself. for one, yes, definitely.
Like Lothar doesn't just get to step in like this. That's not how it works.
No. And for two, he's explicitly like, all right, Garona, if you kill me, like that's the fastest path to peace between humans and orcs.
Which is not.
Which it's not at all. And then like completely contradicts the beginning of the movie when they're like, well, orcs and humans have been at war since time immemorial. Like, no one can remember how long ago this war started. like, oh boy, like really didn't work out for you. Like, don't put both of those things in the same movie.
No.
Doesn't make any sense.
And then title card. Warcraft. Again. We did this in the beginning. Again. And you're like, okay, thank God. At least the movie's over. No. We got a river ride. So we got a voiceover of dead daddy orc there. Goldoron, Dorkgoron, whatever his name is. He's doing a voiceover about, I don't know, orc life, and while the baby orc is riding on the river.
You'll travel far. Oh, the places you will go, orc baby.
And then some humans find her like, hey, look at this thing. We found a river. And the little baby orc growls at me. He's like, ah.
Yeah. You're a chieftain, boy, and the orcs need you now more than ever.
Yeah.
And then the baby's like, Arr!
And then isn't that when like that human storyline turns into like basically abuse?
Yes. He like forces the boy to be a gladiator, and like it's a horrible thing. Yeah.
Well, that's how you become a gladiator, to go revenge the death of your father, and yada.
Yeah.
The end.
Credit. What a horrible movie.
Yeah, that was not all right, so you want to ameliorate right now?
Yeah.
Let's get to it. Let's get right into it.
Yeah. I mean, cut all the scenes that I said cut during the podcast. I was like, cut that. Do that.
Make this a different movie. I say if you want to do this like orc humans are on the same page, do the Lethal Weapon thing. Do the buddy cop. Do that movie. Have them team up and like have them each have their own father-son thing going on, right? Like,
yeah.
And then that's what brings them together and team up, because they're like, oh, we each lost her. That gives them a connection. Whereas like everything else doesn't matter, but they have a connection between being fathers. And then you
cut all the orc dialogue. Doesn't matter. Like, why'd you invent an orc language for this? Just have everyone speak common, because it makes way more sense.
Yeah, just do
erase that. Yeah.
Get rid of like all the million like little sub-story things, subplots, like the Garona and Lothar thing. I don't know if there's any connection in the video game or whatever whatsoever, but like get rid of that. Just
pick like two main characters.
Cut that entirely.
Yeah. Too many plot lines going.
Yeah, and don't make the king so. I mean, I guess if the king's gonna make a stupid decision at the end of the movie, make him stupid throughout. Which I guess he kind of was. He didn't feel like a really strong king, but like telling her to like kill me, like
it did seem extra silly. You're right.
It's extra silly just to set up a sequel and to continue the war.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
Don't force a sequel. Just set have things exist, but don't be like, there's gonna be more.
Or if you're gonna force a sequel, give us more lore so that we care. Like, give me more about like what is the role of the Guardian? Like, you alluded to it a couple times. Like, I don't know. Like, the Guardian seems like one of the most interesting and conflicted characters. Like, give me any backstory for that. Give me like some of the lore that makes it cool. Who's that woman that we just introduced out of nowhere? Like Alidai or whatever. Like, explain that.
Yeah.
Make me care.
You can and pull the Star Wars card here. Have Granddaddy Orc be Palpatine, right? Yep. Have him there doing that. He can just be in the background. He doesn't have to be like kind of so forefront. Is like clearly evil guy. Make Gork there. Make him the main villain of this. So if you want to small contain things, you can blow it out more.
Yep.
Make him the focus of the human because he killed his son, and be like, and have the other orc help him.
Like a vengeance thing. Yeah.
And then at the end, when you have the buddy orc there, he dies in front of the human. There's like a connection. He's like, "Oh, we were friends. We became friends. Now I'm gonna go kill Dwark there."
Make the battles more interesting. Like the orcs are wildly overpowered.
Yeah,
they should have just won hands down every battle, right? Like
pretty much, right? It's a horde, and they're
there's a lot of them, and they're huge.
And they're huge.
Yeah, like the boomsticks, I feel like are the conflicting factor there, I guess, right? Like the orcs they don't have any projectile weapons. The orcs can only do hand-to-hand stuff. So
yeah, sure,
I guess that's an upper hand, but like they only showed that for a couple seconds. Like it didn't seem like it made a huge difference.
Yeah, a lot of things he could have done. But hey, everyone probably had their own opinions and studio notes and Blizzard notes, and everyone's made this kind of movie. So, but what else is there? Hour and 45 minutes.
At most. No, I think that's too long. Like if you're not going to give us any of that extra lore that I want, hour and a half tops.
You can do it. It's doable.
Totally.
It's just absolutely doable.
Skip over the rest.
Steal another buddy cop movie that exists, and just do that.
Yeah. Give me Ride Along.
Yeah. Ride Along meets with the weapon. Something. I don't know. You can still do all your game nods and video game references.
That's the other thing too. Like we talked about, World of Warcraft is kind of like does a lot of like tongue-in-cheek comedy stuff in the game. Like bring that. Like there was nothing funny in this movie. Like they tried to give Lothar a couple of like witty lines, but they fell flat. Were not delivered well. Didn't make any sense. Like,
don't take yourself so serious. It's a fucking video game.
Yeah, put some comedy in there. Like for example, in World of Warcraft, I'll give you one last fact.
I love it. To close it out, I love it. Here we go.
So there's a hidden Easter egg in World of Warcraft where you can talk to a cow NPC in one of the forests. And if you click on it a bunch of times, you get a dialogue box that pops up that says, "There is no cow level," which is a reference to the old Diablo games where there was, remember there's like a big myth about a secret cow level that ended up being true, and there was a secret cow level.
Yep.
There is no cow level.
Do that stuff.
Hilarious.
Do that goofy stuff. Like that's what the fans want.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Nope.
I think we really did pretty hard on that one, actually. That was
there's a lot to fix.
There's a lot to fix. We could have made that movie better. So
yeah. And it seems like easy fixes too.
Yeah. Just settle it down. Okay. That's it. I think we're done, right? We're done. We're putting this orc baby down the river, right? Sending this orc. Sending this orc baby down the river, right?
Putting this orc baby down. Yep.
The river.
In the river.
Down the river. Thanks for listening. Back next week with a new movie and a trailer trash. We're getting towards the end of the year here. That's crazy. So 2 big things coming. One, Halloween. Ooh, we already got a movie planned for it. And end of the year, we got to start thinking good movies that we hate for our Christmas special.
That's right.
So holiday special. So
listeners, if you got suggestions,
throw them out there.
Yeah.
Send us a movie that you like, and we'll decide if we like it or not.
Yeah. That works.
Yep. You can find us on Instagram at It's This Meets That. Subscribe wherever you listen to us and to podcasts, and set us to auto download. And if you like the show, share it with a friend. Share it with an orc friend.
Yeah, that's right. Or share it with an orc stranger on the internet.
Yeah,
that orcs have. By leaving a review somewhere like Apple or Spotify or wherever you can put stars and comments. Any of those things would be nice. More stars is more better. So please and thank you. Or if you're feeling old fashioned, you just want to send us an email, give us that long form feedback that we crave. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. We'll read in fan service and trailer trash like we always do. Or just go to the website. Anything that Russ and I have talked about, you can find it there. Information about the show, all the old episodes, no information about Russ's book Host, but you should buy that wherever you buy books.
It's a very easy Google internet search.
That's right. Or buy merch, t-shirts, anything that helps support us. The best way to support us is by buying a t-shirt. It's the fastest path to giving us money, unless you just want to Venmo me.
And listening harder.
Listen even hardlier. If you don't want to do any of that stuff, just go to itsthismeetsthat.com.